Hello and welcome to the episode 298 of What a Fab Day. I am your host, Simon Mas. Among other things, today we'll touch upon the start of the first Beatles tour outside UK, 2 studio sessions and a happy announcement. On the 25th of October 1960, the Beatles, comprising of George Harrison, John Lennon and Paul McCartney on guitar and voice, Stu Sutcliffe on bass and Pete Best on drums, performed yet another night at the Kaiserkeller in Hamburg, West Germany, for their ongoing residency in town. 1 year later, in 1961, the Beatles had become a quartet, with Paul McCartney taking the place of Sutcliffe. On this date, they performed an evening concert at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. 1962. The Beatles, now in their definitive lineup with Ringo Starr on drums, recorded their third appearance on BBC Radio, this time for the program Here We Go. The session took place at the Playhouse Theatre in Manchester. The rehearsals started from 4 p.m. and the show was taped between 8 and 8:45 p.m. live in studio. The program was broadcast the next day and it featured the Beatles performing Love Me Do, A Taste of Honey and P.S. I Love You. The lads had recorded a fourth song, a cover of Tommy Rose's Sheila, but the number was cut to keep the program length to the usual 29 minutes. In 1963, the Beatles finally kicked off their Swedish tour, their first ever tour outside UK, with a performance in the hall of a secondary school called Sundsta Läroverk in Karlstad. The band had to play secondary venues in small towns, earning much less than it did in England. The fee for each night was just £140, about £1,200 in 2020 money. On the other hand, the price of a ticket was often too much for a local teenager at the time, according to BeatlesBible.com. Whatever the reason, the hall didn't reach full capacity this evening. There were only 600 people out of the 750 the hall could accommodate. But the audience was enthusiastic, and the Beatles played an energetic rendition of Long Tall Sally, Please Please Me, I Saw Her Standing There, From Me to You, A Taste of Honey, Chains, Boys, She Loves You and Twist and Shout. Another tour in 1964, this time of Great Britain, with the Beatles playing the Hippodrome Theatre in Brighton. Before continuing, allow me to steal a second to remind you to visit www.simonmas.com/support. Currently, I'm not monetizing the platforms you enjoy the free version of this podcast from. This is to keep adverts to a minimum for you, but that means that your help becomes even more fundamental for the continuation of this and other projects. Please share the shows that you like and consider sending me a donation of any amount you can. Thank you for being fab! Mixing time on the 25th of October 1965. In the morning, between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., probably without the Beatles, producer George Martin had a mix-down session at the EMI studios in London, completing Drive My Car, In My Life, If I Needed Someone, Day Tripper, Norwegian Wood, This Bird Has Flown, and Nowhere Man, all in mono. 2 years later, in 1967, with the work on the editing of the Magical Mystery Tour film still continuing throughout the day, the Beatles put the finishing touches on 2 songs. Working at the EMI studios between 7 p.m. and 3 a.m., the Fabs oversaw the editing of The Fool on the Hill and its mono mix down, using 2 4-track recording machines in sync. After that, Paul McCartney overdubbed the bass part on Hello Goodbye, while the song was being reduced into take 21. Finally, in 1968, John Lennon and Yoko Ono announced to the world that they were expecting a baby. The baby was supposed to arrive in February 1969, meaning that it was conceived at the beginning of their relationship, but it was not meant to be, as we will see in episode 325 of this podcast. And with this announcement, the episode comes to an end. Join me tomorrow for more studio sessions and another historical moment in the life of the Beatles. For the moment, I wish you a good day and a fab continuation. Simon Mas, music you love.